So I'm going to give you the exact 6-step system that you need to do this and to build your own knowledge business. How to hit 5K per month with literally just 1 or 2 clients very quickly. You can do this in 4 to 6 weeks, if not a little bit sooner. Why step 5 changed everything? And from my experience, most people either miss this or don't know about this, and this is the one thing that stops them ever getting results or making this business actually work. The simple pricing formula to maximize cash flow and actually know what to charge and how to charge it. I share that with you as well. How to deliver value without burning out. And real examples from friends and clients of mine that are actually doing this at 5K per month, 50K per month, even 100K per month in some cases. Selling things like knitting, relationships, addiction, trading, divorce, even things like calligraphy doing over 20K per month. So let's start with the 6 critical components, and these are the stages, one by one. Wherever you get all 6 of these right, you almost cannot help but to make money. But if you get even one of these wrong, none of this is ever going to work. You really got to get all 6 ducks in a row. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in this video. So let's cover the components one by one. The first thing you need is a brain, okay? And this is the knowledge that you're going to sell. Then you need eyeballs, and then you need to get attention. Then you gotta make a video that explains what to do and how. Then you gotta have balls when it comes to pricing. Okay? Then you need a phone to take calls. And then you need to deliver it and actually help people. And by the end of this presentation, you are going to know exactly how to implement every single one and go straight out there. And print 5K a month selling your knowledge. And then scale to 10K per month, 20K per month, 50K per month, and 100 per month plus, if you want to. And later in this video, I'm going to lay out all the stages of calling one of these business for you as well. Step 1 is your brain. This is what you're actually going to sell. You need either knowledge of your own, a skill, a talent, something that you're good, or somebody else. Now, if you're thinking, yeah, but Marcus, look, I love to do this, but I'm not talented. I don't have any knowledge. I don't have a talent or a skill. Well, here's the truth. You can just partner with somebody that does, and I'll show you how in a moment. And just before we get to that, let me just share some real examples of my current clients, just to demonstrate how simple and easy this is. And this can be done in more or less any niche that you can imagine. So I got an easy client making roughly 18K a month. I got a relationship dating client doing roughly 70K a month, and he helps men to basically go out and talk to girls and get dates. I got a stop drinking alcohol client who's doing roughly 90K a month. And I got clients in again every niche that you can imagine. Eco, manifestation, sports, calligraphy, communication, finance, everything. And the pattern is pretty much any skill or any knowledge can generate 5K a month minimum, and often 20K, 50K, or 100K per month or more. Now, let's just talk about the 1 to 10 scale, because this changed everything. You don't need to be a world-class expert to do this. In fact, in many cases, you actually shouldn't be. Let me explain why. So you can understand the 1 to 10 scale and feel confident in helping people. If somebody is, let's say, a 1 out of 10 at something, let's just say golf. Golf is the first thing that comes to mind. Well, they don't want to learn from a 10. They don't want to learn from like Tiger Woods, because just they are way too advanced. They are too far ahead. They want to learn from like a 3 or a 4 or a 5, right? If someone is a 3, they probably want to learn from like a 5 or a 6 or a 7. And if someone is a 6, they probably want to learn from an 8 or a 9 or a 10, right? Now, a 10 teaching a 1 again, it doesn't work. It's far too advanced, which means that the ones can't relate. They are too far ahead, and that means that you can be a 3 and teach 1s. You can be a 5 and teach 2 or 3s. You can be a 7 and teach 3 or 4s. So no, you don't need to be the best. You don't need to be a world class. You don't need to be a 10 out of 10 expert. You just need to be a few steps ahead of the people that you are helping. And if anything, that's actually an advantage, because you can relate to them more. Where if you are 15 years into a career, you are a 10 out of 10. You won't even want to work with ones or twos. They are just far behind you. It will just be too basic and frankly probably quite annoying as well. Let me share some real examples to just prove you that this works. So again, current clients and their expertise level specifically. So I have a communication client who teaches fives and he's making about 35K a month. He helps entrepreneurs, CEOs, executives to speak better and talk better and present better. Yeah, I also have a manifestation client who's teaching people that are a bit closer to a 7. And last time I spoke to him, he was making about $250,000 a month. And he helps entrepreneurs to manifest more money, basically. The relationship client that I mentioned a second ago, he's been hovering between about 40K a month, about 70K a month, and he teaches, I would say, about 4 out of 10. I got an addiction client who again also teaches force and he's making about 90K a month, helping people to stop drinking alcohol. I also got a rowing client. Literally, he teaches people to row to get fit, and he just made his first 100K month last month. And Shaq, if you're watching this, very well done on that, buddy. First ever 6-figure a month helping people to row, to get fit, and he teaches roughly 60s. I also got the knitting client that I mentioned earlier. I would say she teaches roughly freeze and force, and she's making 18K a month. And finally, myself in my own company. So I used to teach 2, 3, 4, and I was making over $500,000 a month doing that. So the lesson here is, wherever you are on the scale, you can teach people that are behind you. So your action step here is to rate yourself 1 to 10 in your skill. And again, if you're a 3 or above, you got a business on your hand that can make you a lot of money. Now, if you don't have a knowledge of your own, just partner with someone that does. So if you're thinking right now, but Marcus, I shouldn't have no special knowledge at all, find someone who does and partner with them. Here's how this works. So go and find someone with valuable knowledge that did a 3 out of 10 and offer to handle everything for them. Split the revenue 50-50 and make a deal. They provide the expertise, you provide the business infrastructure. So the marketing, the sales, the copywriting, the advertising, maybe taking the sales call, handling support, hiring a team, and so on. This is simpler than you think. People with knowledge often can't sell and can't market themselves. Usually the people that are the best, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10, they are fucked at selling, at marketing, at content. People that are good at what they do, they are just not as good at anything else. And they are great for you because you can partner with them. Make a list of 5 people that you know with valuable skills. Reach out and build this business with them / for them. And just take 50%. Now, with that said, step 2. Where we know where we're going to teach and maybe how it's getting attention, getting eyeballs. You need eyeballs because no attention means no business, and we call this traffic. But it's just really getting the right people notice you and see you and know you, and that's 3 methods, and you just need to pick one to start. So social media is 1, outreach is 2, and physical is 3. Technically ads is number 4, but that kind of goes with social media. Now most people should just start with 1 or 2 max. Let me explain. So method number 1 is social media, and this is free traffic. So YouTube, what you are watching right now, Instagram post and real, TikTok if your audience is on there, Facebook groups and post, LinkedIn, which is a bit more B2B and professionals. And the strategy here is that simple. You make valuable content, you post consistently, and you direct people to our next step. That is literally all that you have to do. Okay? And let me just share my results. So I started YouTube 22 months ago with 0 experience. I never made YouTube videos before. My life in terms of getting on camera and talking and editing and presenting and all of that stuff, my early videos were shot on my iPhone or my built-in Mac camera that I'm using now, with no script and no editing. And some of them got 500,000 views plus despite that. No planning, no editing, rubbish camera quality, bad audio quality, no planning, just there you go. And that got me to a lot of money, cash, with your staff and 90% profit margin with just a few months. Now, YouTube gives you free traffic if your content is valuable. If you make gold content, YouTube will give you views for free. It's really incredible. And here's the content formula. So educational, you teach something useful. Valuable, that actually helps people, and specific, that is not just vague random generic advice. And you become consistent. Depending on the platform, you are going to post either daily or once or twice or 3 times per week minimum. Again, depending on the platform. And again, you don't need fancy editing, you don't need a professional equipment, or even to use your face or a huge following to start. You just need to start. And to give you an example of this, so I used to have a YouTube channel where I see all my own business, but it was faceless. It was literally just slides and text and voiceover. And that whole business, for the 5 years that I owned it, it was always completely faceless. The ads were faceless, the course was faceless, the content was faceless. It was just my voice and slides for the entire company. So that was my first YouTube channel. I grew that to about 25k subscribers, so not very big, not as big as this channel. And even when I started this channel, it was my first time making like videos on camera. And it was not very good. But that actually gave me an edge, because at least it was genuine. You know, it might not have sound very good, and it might not have act very good, but that's okay. Because you just got to keep it real and be yourself, kind of like I'm doing right now, really. What you need to know, right, is to actually help people and to be consistent and to have a call to action and send to an explainer video. So the action step here is to post your first piece of content this week. Film it on your phone, film it on your iMac or your laptop webcam. Just do it. Just get something out there. Just start. Now let's talk about the next method, which is outreach and direct contact. Now this is even simpler than social media, and here's the process. So you find people who have the problem that you solve. You message them on LinkedIn or Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. Start a conversation and just ask if they need help. If yes, book them in for a call. If no, move on to the next person. Super simple. Now, here is a real example from last week. So my relationship client who helped men with dating messaged someone on Instagram. They replied, right? She explained how she helps. They book a call and they pay her 8K. So this is how easy this money is to make when you get the right system. And here's the script. Okay, hey, first name, I noticed. Insert a specific thing about them or what they do or how they are doing it. I help type of people with a specific problem. Will you be open to me paying you to have a quick conversation about the situational results for my market research? And yes, we are going to pay people for a sales call, just like you will if you were running pay ads. And this is going to cut through the market because no one has the foresight or ingenuity to do this. So let me ask you, when was the last time someone offered you 50K, 5K or 100K to have a research call with them? Probably never, right? And that's called an edge. Now, what I just told you is worth 100K plus to anyone that is willing to take action. Yes, you have to pay for calls, but you would anyway in the long term. And I would rather have to pay for calls than have 0 calls, right? You are just going to position it as a research call and close it anyway as if it's a sales call. And if you don't know how to properly conduct a sales call, well, I'm going to tell you later in this video. And you can also watch the video here on my channel, which is called the Sales Tactics, the Secret of Closing Sales. And that will show you how to conduct a sales call properly. And you can watch that later after this video. Now, here's how the math looks when you actually put this into practice. And this is the outreach equation. So you are going to message 100 people, right? Roughly 20% are going to respond, which means 20 people will reply to you. And you should be booking around 4 calls, around 20% booking rate. And you should be closing about 1 in 4 on average over the long term. So you're going to have a roughly 25% close rate. And that's going to be a sale at 3K on the low end to 8K on the high end. And we're going to talk about pricing later. And the action step here is pretty damn clear. You are going to send 100 messages ASAP using the template that I just gave you. Okay, and if they are all paying, let's say 50 to have a call with you, right? Let's say that you book calls that you're going to cost you around 200. And you're going to be closing one person at between 3 and 8K. So you're putting about 200 in and getting 3K out, 5K out, 8K out. Pretty good roll in my opinion. Now let's recap traffic. So social media, this is the best for people starting out. Time to results on average is going to be 3 to 6 months of consistency. Sometimes you can get clients in the first couple of weeks. Sometimes it's month 1, month 2, month 3. Sometimes it takes a while, okay? But it's free and scalability is very high, which is the upside. Outreach. This is best for people that need cash like fast, like now. And the time to results here is day to weeks. Honestly, you can have a client in a few days to a week or 2. And again, it is free if you don't charge for the calls. It's cheap if you do charge, say $500 for the research calls. Scalability here, I would say, is medium because it does take a lot of time. But it's not that hard to send a bloody 100 messages a day. It's not that hard. But put into the context of making 5 to 10K a month, come on. And physical is best for landing well clients who are going to pay you big numbers. Lifetime values of like 10K to 50K. Time to results is pretty damn immediate. And we'll talk more about this in a second. And the cost is going to be about $10 to $50 per item that you send. And again, I explain how this works in a minute. And scalability, here is very low because you literally got to get physical items. How to the post office, send them, wait for them to arrive, so on and so forth. Action step at this stage, pick one, master it, add others later. Now let's talk about step 3, which is the video, and this is where you explain who you can help, who you are, and how and all of the rest of it. Now once you have attention, well, where do you send people to? Well, the answer is a VCL, a video sales letter. And this is the bridge between attention and getting book calls to actually close and put money in the bank. So what goes into the video? Well, you're going to say who is for the qualified the viewers. Who is not for to disqualify search and viewers. What problem that you solve to make it clear. Why they perhaps haven't solved it themselves. To press on the pain and make them take action and pay attention, and how you can help without specifics, and a call to action to book a call. Now here is what does not go in the video. You are not going to share your price. You are going to save that for the call. You are not going to have a detailed program breakdown because you are just going to be overwhelm them and confuse them and put them off. You are not going to share anything that let them self-reject because you are going to lose call bookings by doing that. So here's the VCL structure that you can copy. So when you open, you are going to say, if you are a specific person struggling with a specific problem, you are in the right place. If that's not you, please leave. Obviously, say it politely, right? Then you're going to say, now here's what you are probably experiencing, insert points. And you're going to go in depth to show you actually know what you're talking about and then understand you. Basically, then you're going to explain why it matters and say, look, if you don't solve this, well, here's what's going to happen, this is the cost of inaction. And you're going to make it visceral and painful and heavy. Then you're going to map out the solution. So here's how I help people like you. And this is the general approach, not the specifics. And you're also going to add people that you have helped. If you don't have any, just use yourself as the key testimonial and the key example. Then you're going to share your credibility, so here's why I can help. And you're going to share your story, your results, your testimonials, if you have them, your background, and why you're even doing this. to reduce skepticism. Then you're going to give out. So this resonates, you can book a call below. Let's see if I can help you. You're going to add this call is free. It's just there to help you and it's not a sales call. To take the pressure off. Now, an ideal BCL launch is, in my experience, is about 25 minutes. In my experience, I made longer ones that have worked, I made shorter ones that have worked. I have clients that have made really long ones, I have clients that have made really short ones. There's no ideal length, but a nice average is 20 to 25 minutes. That's ideal. Also, just to add, the longer the better, because the longer people watch, the more trust is built. But obviously don't make it so long, just for the sake of this. Just people and you're going to have a problem. One more thing to add. People often say to me, they come to me with their BCS and they say to me, Marcus, there's only 20% of people watching at the end. That's terrible. I'm like, no, it's not, because those 20% people are the people that are going to book a call and buy. The people that leave are not buyers, okay? The right people, they are going to watch the full video. People that actually get results, people that actually succeed, they watch videos in full. You know, people that fail, they are the ones that, this is not interesting, this is boring, I got other stuff to do. The lack of commitment, the lack of focus is why people fail in the first place. And for you guys still watching this video right now, well, you are the people I'm talking about. The people that are still watching right now are going to win, are going to succeed. And you're probably taking notes and really soaking this. And watching on like 2 point speed. Truly investing the time and energy, and therefore you're going to be the ones that get the outcome. So well done and stay with me. Now, why this works? People need time to see the value. So if you lead with like, I'm selling an 8K program, well, people are just going to leave because you're just going to scare them off. But if you will report, identify their pain, show that you understand people you can help them, they get an or a call. Well, the price is obvious, and they can see the value, and then they will buy. So you got to follow the path. Now let's talk about critical targeting questions. Can you sell to the top of the market? Translation, can you sell to rich people first? Because it's going to make your life a lot easier. And in 90% of cases, the answer is yes, you can. And here's why this matters. So rich people, they make buying decisions faster. They often don't need payment plans. They are almost easier to work with and they got better results. And they very rarely because they got integrity, which is why they are rich in the first place. It's not surprise, because if you do those things, this is what makes people successful. So buy when you know you need it. You don't buy around with payment plans, you just go on and get it done. People with that attitude are easy to work with because they are easier to work with and they got the attitude to get better results. And they are not the kind of people that get scared and panic and talk and have bad mindset and ask for response. You know, successful people, rich people, they don't do that. And this is what paradoxically makes them rich in the first place. So for example, don't target broke college students who want to make money. Do target business owners making 200K plus per month who want to scale to $1 million. I know that's not possible for all of you. There's just an example to paint the picture there. But as an action step, rewrite your targeting to focus on people who can easily afford your price. Okay? If you can do that, do that. If you can't do that, well, I will talk more later in the video to solve the problem. Step 4, you got to have balls. Okay? And this is all about pricing. No, you have to charge high ticket prices. If you want to get to 5K per month like very fast and very easy, or faster and easier, minimum 3K, ideally 4 to 8K, or if you have proper big balls, 10K to 50K. And if you're thinking, yeah, but with Marcus, listen, people are never going to pay that in my niche. Well, I heard that many times, and yes, they will. My knitting client charged 1K for a year. My addiction client charged 8K for 6 months. My relationship client charged 8K for 3 months. My old trading company that I used to own used to charge 8K for 12 months. My copywriting client charged 99K a month. Granted, they're very high level, but nonetheless 9K a month. So if you think people won't pay, that's just inexperience talking. That's not reality. I can almost promise you the right people, they will pay high ticket. I've been doing this for a lot of time. I've been seeing all by this stage. Here's why high ticket pricing works and matters. Benefit number 1, it maximizes cash. So would you rather 100 customers at 97 or 9K or 9? Or would you rather have 10 customers at 1K, making you just about the same amount 10K? Or would you rather have just one person to work with that gives you 15K in fully on day one? I would prefer one person to give me 15K every single time. Benefit number 2, this maximizes client quality. Because higher paying clients are far more committed. Because of that, they will do the work because they are more aligned, because they spend more money, so they are more aligned. They therefore get better results because of that fact. And because of that, they give you better testimonials as well. And high quality, high paying clients pretty much never ask for refunds. We had 4 refund requests in almost 2.5 years now. Is that right? 12, no, sorry, in about in almost 2 years. 4 refund requests in 2 years. And often it's just a lack of understanding, and it's very easy to solve and sort out. They are also calmer and easy to work with as well. And lower paying clients are the literal opposite of all of those. Way less commit, don't want to do the work, very rarely great results, won't give you a testimonial, ask for refunds all the time, and are crazy stressful to work with. So if you're selling low ticket, might want to reconsider that. So here's my pricing formula so that you can copy it. Step 1, calculate your 12 months value. So if someone works with you today, where will they be in 12 months? As an example, let's say a trading student make 100K as a random example. Well, if you can get people to change 100K at the end of a year in 12 months, you should be charging about 10%, which is about $10K. So if you can help an executive to stop drinking and let's say save their marriage, well, 10% of that is bloody priceless. If you can help e-commerce students to build, let's say, $500,000 per year business, and you charge 10%, is about 50K that you should be receiving in the realm of value. And then step 2, calculate the price of inaction. So what does it cost them to actually not buy from you? And again, here's a few examples. So if someone is addicted to, say, I don't know, smoking, drinking, drugs, whatever it is, well, the cost of inaction is death. It's losing your children. It's losing your family, your career, your wife, your husband. Pretty massive cost, right? Relationship. If you don't solve that, well, the price of an action is dying lonely. Never meeting your dream partner again. That's a huge cost. That is a huge cost. You can put a price on that business. If you, let's say that you could build a 100K per month business, but you don't, for some reason, well, you're going to stay broke. You're never going to achieve your dreams. So again, the cost of inaction is absolutely significant, to say the least. And when the cost of inaction is that extreme, price largely becomes irrelevant. So let's just take as a real example my addiction client offer. So 80K, stop drinking alcohol in 90 days, targeting highly executive and business owners and entrepreneurs. The value equation is this. So it saves their health, which is priceless. Saves the marriage, which is priceless. Saves the career, which, people that buy this software, they are making around 100K plus every year. So you're actually losing that income as well. Saving their relationship with their kids, priceless. Adding years onto their life, priceless. So the cost of inaction is death. So the question is, do you want to spend 8K or do you want to die? That's how you should think about pricing. Pricing is nothing compared to the value. So often people just think about, I want to charge 5K. Don't really know why, I just want to charge that. I don't know whether it's worth that, I don't know what the price of inaction is. People just pick random prices. That's not the way to do it. The way that you have to do this is what is the 12 months value. Take around 10 to 15% of that and that's roughly your price. Then you look at, well, can the avatar actually afford that? And then you look at the cost of inaction. And when you put those things together, this is how you create a genuine business price tag for your offer. Let's talk about overcoming pricing fear. But well, I'm scared to charge what I'm worth. Well, that fear again, it comes from inexperience. It doesn't come from reality, because here's the truth. People with serious problems will pay serious money. The high prices mean high commitment, which means better results. Better results means more testimonial, which actually means more sales in the long term. And again, it's far, far easier to sell one 8K program than 80, 100K programs. I think it's quite logical to think, yeah, but surely it's easier to sell lots of cheap things. It's easier than selling one expensive thing. But again, take it from me. I've been doing this for 8 years. I made tens of millions of dollars, work with hundreds and hundreds of people. Please just hear me when I say this. It's easier to sell 1K item than 10 or hundreds of cheap items. It really is. And I'm going to show you how in this video, so just stay with me. Now, my knitting client charges 1K for her knitting community. If knitting can command 100K, your skill can probably command 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8K plus. Action step at this stage. Set your price at minimum 3K. And if you're having a big problem, go for around 5 to 8 to 10 to 12K. Again, grounding value like we just discussed recently. And you're going to know your price and feel good about it. And it's going to be perfect for the market. Next comes stage 5, and this is where you're going to need a phone to take calls. And this is where the magic happens. Now, after people watch your PCL, they are going to book a call. So now what? And you might be thinking at this stage, but Marcus, I don't want to do sales calls. Well, listen, it's just a call. So chill out. You're not hard closing anyone. You're not pressuring anyone. You're just having a conversation about whatever you can help them seriously, guys. That's really it. I know that sales calls can feel a bit scary. But from my experience, if you just frame the calls as, listen, I'm a human, they are a human. They got a problem, I got the solution. Let's just chat and see if I can help them. If you frame it like that, it can often take the pressure off. Now let me share with you the sales calls structure, and it's a really simple framework. It's just this. So the first part is discovery, and in the first part of the call, you just want to understand the prospect. So you're going to ask them things like, what did you book the call? You're going to understand the situation. You're going to build a bit of rapport. You're going to ask them things like, why haven't you been able to solve this on your own? What have you tried before? Why didn't it work? What's different now? Right? Just things like that. You're going to build a bit of a picture of who are they? Why are they here? Why do they still have the problem? What have they tried? What's worked? What hasn't? So on and so forth. Then you're going to ask them why now, to build some urgency and remove any objections before you get to the close. So in this section, you're going to say, listen, why are you here now? Why weren't we on this call 6 months before? Why not wait and do this later? Like, why this is important to do now? What is so urgent about solving this now? What is the impact of not doing this now? Okay, just that kind of thing. You're going to build a case for why should they take action now. And often if you do that right, they will remove the I need to think about it objection. If you do it right, okay, that's kind of the point. Then you're going to ask them, okay, I understand why are you here. I understand the problem that you got. I understand why you want to do this now. So let me ask you this. Why do you need this and why now? What do you feel like you need to succeed? What does success even look like? And how can I help you get there? Do you feel like you need a course, a group coaching, one-to-one, in person? You know, if you could, this is one of my favorite questions. If I could just wave a magic wand right now and give you anything that you want and need, what would that look like? It's always interesting to hear the answer to that. Then you're going to ask some pain question, and what this section here is going to do. It helps them understand, oh yeah, I really need help with this. I can do this on my own. I need to solve this. So for example, you must ask them, you know, do you have well-written BCL that converts traffic into book calls? No, I don't. Okay. But what about a proper sales script and a pitch deck that makes people buy? Do you have all of that? No, I don't. Okay. What are you doing? You know whatever. You know what are you doing? Are you not doing that yet? Oh no, I'm not doing that yet. We want them to think there is a lot that I'm missing here. There's a lot that things guys know that I know. I need help. Right? Then you're going to transaction to the pitch, and then you're going to say to them, okay, well listen, based on everything that we talk about on this call today, I can definitely help you. Would you like me to tell you how? And they are going to say yes, okay. Would you like me to tell you how? Then you're going to pitch them. So you're going to say, cool, so if I were to work together, this is roughly what it looks like. Then you're going to cover the pitch, the offer, the price, and then you're going to go into the close. And again, if you haven't already seen it, go and watch my full sales training video here on my channel after this video, and that will really help you. So now here's the sales call critical mindset, okay? You are not trying to convince anyone. You are simply having a conversation, understanding their problems, determining can you genuinely help them, and do what you want to help them. And then you are presenting the solution if it is a good fit, and you just let them make an informed decision. You are not hard closing. You are not hard selling. You are not manipulating them. You are just trying to ask questions to help you understand. Can you help them and help them understand? Then they need help if they need help. Alright, sometimes you are going to ask people questions. So how long have you been struggling with this? And they say, you know what, I'm actually not really struggling. I just want to book this call just it sounds interesting. And you're going to say, okay, well, what are you maybe struggling with? What problems do you have? And sometimes people will say, honestly, dude, I don't really have any problems. And I'm like, I'm just interested in you and what you are doing. And you're just going to get off the phone and very politely and respectfully say to them, well, dude, sounds like you don't need any help and you're good to go. And this sounds like you don't need my help. So let's end this call and keep doing what you're doing. If you need a rebook, basically just get the hell off the call. That won't happen often. In my experience, that happens once every 40 calls, 50 calls. Some people will just want to waste their time and see what you got to offer. Just keep them off the bloody call. I'm okay. What does happen, but it's pretty rare. And that is it. That's all you got to do. And if they are not the right fit, and if you can help them, tell them. And if they can't afford them, tell them. And the right people will say yes and send you money right there on the call. If you do this properly, if you do it right, and the wrong people won't. And that's okay. That's actually what we want. Now let's talk about some common objections and how to handle them, because objections are going to come up now and then. If you do what I just told you right, you won't get many objections, but they will still come. And here's a few common ones and what to say to handle and how to remove them before they appear. So the most common objection, I need to think about it. Now before pitching or in your pitch, make sure that you ask them if they have any questions or anything on their mind at all. And you do not reveal the price until that is done. And if you do that, you will remove that objection. 8-9 times out of 10 if you do the right thing now. On certain occasions, they're still going to say this. If they're bringing it up, you're going to say this. So let's say someone, listen, Marcus, this sounds really, really good. I just need to give it some thought. And then I think probably hoping later. I would just say to them, dude, no worries at all. If you want to go give it some thought, that's fine by me. I'm not here to press you. I'm not here to hard sell you. But if you don't mind, what's even in your mind? That's the first thing that I will say. Then if they say something like, yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing really on my mind. I just want to give you some thoughts. Then I will say to them, okay, no worries, and I just want to check. Didn't even you know when I say to you like, tell me all your questions, tell me everything in your mind, and you ask them those 3 questions that we answered. Was that like not all of your questions? I mean, I'm guessing you seem to have more questions in your mind, like what are they? And I will just go one layer deeper. Keep it soft, keep it respectful, but just go one layer deeper. And if they still object, this is what I would then say. And this is the final layer. You can't really go any deeper than this or else it gets a bit too aggressive. But then I would say, okay, dude, no worries at all, listen. Usually when people say this and they say I need to think about it, what it really means is there's a question that they haven't answered. There's a doubt on their mind or something similar to that. And that's what this call is actually for you, so that we can cover everything together. So tell me everything that you are thinking, and let's cover it together while you have me here, right? So that's how you're going to handle that objection. And from there, they will usually tell you something like, yeah, you know what? It's just this, or yeah, I didn't want to ask this, but actually this is on my mind, or whatever it is, and you solve it. Remove that, and they will be able to close. Because if someone doesn't buy, something's wrong. They don't need to think about it. Something is wrong. It's usually the price, or it's the term, or it's the deliverables, or it's self-doubt. Or it's something stopping them. And your job on the phone is to find that and remove it. And when you remove it, they are going to buy. Next, the age-old I need to talk to my bloody wife. Right now, before pitching, or in your pitch, make sure that you ask them if they are doing it alone, or if a partner or a wife is going to play a part in the decision. If they say yes, you are going to pause the call, rebook it, and then get back on later with their wife or with their business partner. Because they just told you, I'm going today without that person, because they are involved, and if they are involved, you need to get them on the call. If they say no, my wife is not involved, I don't have a business partner, it's just me, confirm it and say it back to them. Then move on with the call. So let's say you might say something like, so usually we find that some people like to involve maybe a partner or a wife in this whole thing that they're about to do whatever your nature offer is. In that case, are you just doing this for yourself on your own? And if they say, yeah, it's just me on my own, then just say to them, okay, got it. So no wife, no partner, no brother, no sister, just you completely on your own. And usually they say yes, and you're going to write that down. And then if they give you this objection later, you're going to come back to it and say like, you say earlier like, there's no one else involved, and it's like just doing this, and that calls a logic trap. Because when they told you that, it's very, very difficult for them to untell you without looking like so that's a logic trap. And this is what we are trying to do here. We are trying to get them to confirm us the truth. And then when they lie later on, we hold them to the truth that they already told us, basically. In a respectful way, right? So if they say no, confirm it, then move on with the call. And if they still bring it up, you're going to say something like, hey, no worries at all. And again, didn't you mention earlier that you're on pursuit and there's no one else involved? I'm sure you tell me that you don't need your partner or your wife or your husband. And again, say it in a soft, gentle, respectful way. Don't be aggressive, because then if you are aggressive, they're just going to pull up a wall and they're never going to buy. So you got to be soft, caring, and respectful in your delivery here. If they still object, just say something like this. Hey, no sweet. And when you go and take this to them, what do you think they are going to say? Like they support you doing, or they are against it? Then you're going to say this. Because usually when you ask that question, 95% of people are going to say, yeah, of course, my wife supports me. 100%. Yeah, she really wants to get fit, she wants me to start a business. Okay, cool. Well, if they support you, and they're going to say yes, why don't we just do it then? So then you're lining yourself out to reclose them. So the question is logical to say that, yeah, well, of course, my wife supports me. Who's going to say no, my wife hates me? She definitely doesn't want me to make more money or get fit. Dude. So then you're lining yourself up to ask that question to close them. And if you do it in the right way, you close them. Keep it soft, keep it respectful, keep it genuine. Now, if they still won't budge, you're going to give them access at the full fee. Rebook a closing call with their partner or wife or husband with a warranty. And if you deliver this right, and I'm going to tell you how in a second, this will work 9 out of 10 times is delivered correctly. If you say this wrong, it won't work. So here's what you're going to say. So you're going to say, well, if they support you and they're going to say yes, why don't we just do it anyway? And if they say no, listen, dude, I just need to run it by my demo, then I'm going to come in on board. No worries, completely get it. Well, listen, why we don't do this right now? Because if your wife is really going to get this, rather than you just telling her, I think it's going to be much more beneficial if you can actually show her everything that you're going to get and all of the value that you're going to get. When you get it right now, if you give full access to everything, right? You can then check that to her, show her inside the program, show her inside the consulting and the group and the community. We can even have a consulting call together if you like. And if she says no, I just refund you. No drama at all. We rebook a call for say 4 days time. You can go through everything. She can go through everything. You can then make an informed decision, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to do all of that. It's harder to make a decision this way. You can go through everything, see the value, make it tangible, and then if you say no or you change your mind, it's just refund you later anyway. So let's go at how that sounds. And you remove the risk because you basically say, listen, yes, we pay the fee now. I give you access to everything now. You can go through it. Show your wife because it's better if you show her everything rather than just telling her. And then if she says no or you change your mind, I will just refund you. There's no risk. Let's go ahead and do it. And if you deliver it the appropriate 9 of 10 times they are going to pay. And yes, some people will refund, but not many. Okay, and that's how you overcome the wife objection. Another common one for you, I can afford it now before pitching on your feet, really is discovery. You should be asking them if they have the financial ability to invest in themselves and if they have the money. And you go to ask them again, and you're going to ask them, if we found working together is a good fit, can you invest in yourself? If they say no, get off the call. If they say yes, proceed with the call. And then if they later give the objection, you're just going to say, no worries at all. And like, didn't you mention earlier that you have the capital or the ability to get the capital to invest in yourself here? And again, you're logic trapping them here. And if they still push back, you're going to say, hey, no, sweet, like, I completely get it. And when you say you can't afford it, do you mean you physically don't have the amount? Or it's more that, listen, you got the money, you're just on the fence about spending it? That question is critical to us because it's what's called a splitter question. And when you ask a splitter question, it tells you where to go next, right? So if the former, you can solve the amount for them, is the later. It's clear a trust or a value objection. And you need to build the trust necessary to make their value clear so they're able to deliver it and how you help. Right again, so after they pay, you need to actually be a human being, value. Treat them with respect and care and solve the delivery options. Don't get scared. Maintain a frame of helping them reach the delivery options are as follows. Choose what and that's how you close sales calls. So one thing you can do is an online course only. And you're going to price this about 200 to about 1.5K on the top end. But this is if it's a seriously good program like mine, right? Bit of a humble brag for you there. And this is best for beginners or low commitment offers. Or you can do an online course with group coaching. This is going to be usually around 1K to 10K. And this is best for people starting out. Or you can do an online course with one-to-one coaching, with more time on your part, but you can charge usually around 10K to 50K for this. And this is best for serious results for serious clients. Or you can do done for you. This is going to take a lot of time, a lot of thought, a lot of effort. Therefore, it comes with the highest price tag. And you can charge between about 50K to about 100K. For this, depending on the niche and the avatar, of course. And this is best for clients who want you to just do it for them. Now to make this real, here is my delivery system so that you can model it. So after they pay again, you need to deliver value. And the delivery options for me are as follows, and you can choose whatever you prefer here. Okay, So what I do is I have a big group program, and they get my training program. That's taken me about 2.5 years to get it to where it is now. And it's a God and Beast program. It's amazing. And they get 4 them group calls per week. Monday with me, Tuesday with my sales director, Wednesday with my copywriter, and Friday with my paid ads media buyer. All 2 hours calls. And they can attend those in a group setting as many as they like. Then we have the Done With You one-to-one program, so they get everything in group, but also get any chance calls with me and my entire team, and a WhatsApp group with me and my entire team with them, so to help them. So very, very intensive one-to-one support. Finally, we have a Done For You program, and they get everything in group, everything in one-to-one, and also we just do everything for them. We'll write the VCL, give them a sales script, help them design their pitch deck, help them design their offer, price it right, do the content strategy for them, blah blah blah, basically. So those are the free programs that I offer. Last month we did 25k in cash. The month before that we did 500k in cash. So we've been hovering between about cash for a few months now. Very high profit, really fun and easy to do. Lean team, great result for customers. We are all happy. Now let's talk about delivery and the time versus money equation. So if you're giving people less time, obviously you're going to have a lower price. For example, just selling a course for the price that we just covered right now at those prices we just said, if you're giving them some time, it's going to be a medium price. Usually that's like a course and a group program. Again, around the price we just covered. More time comes at a higher price, and that's usually when you add in one-to-one sessions. And the most time comes at the highest price, which is usually done for you, again at the price that we just mentioned. And you're going to choose what you do basically on how much time you want to work, how much money you want to make, and what clients need to get results. So the action step here is to decide your delivery method before going and making sales. So here is the complete system. Just to recap everything we talked about so far. Here's how it flows. So brain comes first. You choose the knowledge that you're going to sell, or you find some knowledge that you're going to sell. Then you need to pick a way to get eyeballs, a way to get attention. And again, it's through paid ads, through organic content, or through outreach, or a combination of those. Then you need to make your explainer video so that people can watch this VCL and book a call. You need to charge like you got balls, and don't be soft, right? And charge based on value. Like I told you earlier, don't just pick a freaking random price. Just think about 12 months value, avatar affordability, cost of inaction, blah blah, and charge high ticket. Get yourself a phone, and this can be a physical phone, it can be a Zoom, it can be a Google Meet, whatever. Get them on the phone, have a chat, then they're going to buy, and then you're going to deliver to them. And when all of those things are right, man, you're not going to be able to help but to make money. When you got these things right, if you do these things right properly, money will come to you. Trust me. When one thing is wrong, however, you're either going to struggle or it's not going to work at all. So you can get all of that right, but the wrong price not going to work. You can get all of that right, but your VCL is not writing correctly and not going to work. You can do it all of that, but you're at sales calls